Good morning. This is today, and it's a very special day because it means we are 30 years old on this January 14, 1982. And for those of you who are old enough to remember and honest enough to admit it, you will recognize the Today program as it used to be. Looking back in those days when they came through the RCA exhibition hall to the theme of Sentimental Journey. And welcome. I'm Bryant Gumbel, along with Jane Pauley, Gene Shalit, Willard Scott, and we are visiting with a lot of old friends, a lot of folks that stopped by and came to celebrate our birthday with us, people that have really stood for the Today program for 30 years.
They stood for plenty.
Yeah, they stood for plenty. In this half hour, we're going to be visiting with a lot more of our very special guests.
Well, you've already met Dave Garroway this morning if you've been with us. Dave Garroway, part of his brilliance was that he knew how to surround himself with the best, and he also had fine taste in women. Among them, Betsy Palmer, Estelle Parsons, Florence Henderson, Lee Merriweather, Helen O'Connell. All of them will be with us in this half hour, and we'll talk about it.
And we're also going to be visiting with John Chancellor and Edwin Newman. And throughout the program, we will meet all of those people that Jane met.
Thank you, Chris. And we know for 30 years you've been getting ready for work with us. Maybe you've got to leave. What a shame when we have so many people celebrating our 30th birthday. But, you know, the cops at the Hill Street precinct have to get off to work, too.
Yeah, baby. You don't even know what happened.
Item 15. Listen up. Item 15 concerns the Today Show's 30th anniversary special.
What's the Today Show?
Who cares? Be advised, pursuant to policy, that said anniversary special, however auspicious the occasion, news-wise, Nielsen-wise, and otherwise, does not give license for unauthorized sit-downs to gaze lovingly at Jane Pauley's visage.
Neil, a cartoonist. She married a cartoonist, not a detective.
Just be cool, babe.
Do you mind? To gaze lovingly at Jane Pauley's visage, Willard Scott's tonnage, and Bryant Gumbel's verbiage.
Well, that's your basic Afro-American success story.
You don't even know what happened.
In addition, a per-divisional memo from a Commander Brokaw. Be advised that, contrary to the popular rumor, Chris Wallace is the progeny of Mike, not George Wallace. All right, that's it. Let's roll, and let's be careful out there. And hey, let's wish the Today Show another 30 years of success.
When the Today program decided to add a woman to the cast, old J. Fred Muggs couldn't have been any happier. Lee Merriweather was the first of the Today girls, as they were actually called. Sometimes they were actually called Dave's girls. Lee, when they introduced you in the early 50s, it was a big secret who you were a Miss America, but how did they call you in the publicity, the build-up for your appearance?
Well, the popular movie at the time was The Man in the Gray Flannel Suit. And they said, who is the girl in the gray flannel suit? And the publicity was all jacket covers to books, and with my picture in silhouette as his Gregory Peck or whoever had his on the novel, you know. And that was who is the girl in the gray flannel suit?
And of course, when you appeared, America actually knew who this girl was because you'd been Miss America and you were famous in your own right.
Well, I had been on the show.
Yeah.
Interviewed on the show as Miss America, and then that's
and Dave Garroway was rather taken, I guess, and he did have a good eye. Estelle Parsons, you, however, were here on the first day, day one,
I was
30
here
years ago
months
today.
before the first day. I was one of the 8 people who sat around and decided who was going to be on the show even before Dave. I was hired as a production assistant. And then when we were in the working newsroom on 49th Street, Dave would stroll by me and one day threw this on me and said, these men on this ship have voted you their mascot. And then he would ask me to do things, and then the producers started sending me out on stories. I was the first woman to do political reporting for a network back in those non-woman days.
You were very young and precocious then.
Young and precocious.
You were not the famous Estelle Parsons yet, though. You left the show to go find your fame and fortune.
No, I wouldn't say that. I made $75 before the show went on the air, and 2 years later I was making $1,000 a week and I was in the Bubblegum series because Dave made me this TV star, which I didn't want. It was my 9-to-5 job. I came to New York to be a singer and an actress.
7 to 9.
Well, it was my 24-hour. Don't you know what a 9-to-5er is, Miss Pauley?
9
That's
to
what
5.
Ordinary people work.
It sounds lovely.
That was my job, so I could do what I wanted to.
Betsy Palmer, you worked from 5 to 9, but we're talking about 9 p.m. You went during your tenure on the Today program, had a double shift.
That's right. I was doing the Today Show in the morning, and then I was doing I've Got a Secret one night a week live. Of course, everything was live in those days. And I remember the first day that I did the Today Show, the very first morning, I went out after that show to Englewood, New Jersey to look for houses and came upon the first house that my ex-husband and I bought and lived in for 15 years. It all happened the early morning of that first Today Show. It was raining and snowing and sleeting, I remember.
A lot of good things.
And Kokomo was on that show, not J. Fred's. Kokomo was the second chimpanzee by the time I got there.
The first is the one in the history books.
Yes.
Florence Henderson, you made history on the Today program.
Yes.
You think you may have been the first person ever to have uttered the, be careful, America, the word pregnant.
Pregnant. I think I was, and I don't know if Dave would ever forgive me because I didn't know I was pregnant when I signed my contract. But I was. I used to get letters saying, how dare you be on television in those hatching jackets and things like that. You know, now you can say pregnant. Isn't it wonderful? I just love it.
Our set designer, Frank Skinner, still talks about
my life.
Every day he had to hide you behind umbrellas. And
I was hidden behind umbrellas, behind Dave. I used to sing from behind his shoulder. Bushes. I would be lying on the ground so that my stomach wouldn't look like it was protruding. I mean, all kinds of things, which now seem so silly, doesn't it?
But you finally had enough, and one morning you walked behind the desk. And you said, America, I'm pregnant, I'm delighted.
This is it. I mean, I think it's wonderful. I kind of started something new, certainly not being pregnant, but that you could talk about it.
The baby is now where?
He's now a senior at Northwestern.
Helen O'Connell, you have the most romantic story, I guess, from the Today program. There have been a lot of attractive men around here over the years, and you married one of them.
I did. I might add, I had a baby on the show before you ever came on the show. I was on the show about till 6 weeks before she was born and made no secret of it.
Yeah. I remember
all.
that.
You probably didn't show.
Oh, I did.
Yes, you did.
I remember. Yes, I remember.
Well, back up a little bit. I remember we used to have meetings after the show every morning. I guess they still do. I don't know. But that particular morning, they said that somebody had sent a smoked Virginia ham in, and whoever said the funniest thing that morning would get the smoked Virginia ham. And they didn't know me too well yet, and I was sitting around the table, and they were handing out next day's assignments, and they said, you're going to interview the mother of... I said, do I have to interview one more mother? I'm a mother myself, but I get a little tired of just interviewing mothers. I said, can I interview somebody who's tall and dark and handsome and staying overnight? And the next day, there was a very tall, dark, handsome man on the show, and I married him 3 weeks later. And everybody said, we didn't know you meant it. I said, I didn't. I was kidding. It just turned out that way.
Is the spontaneity of live television. A lot happens here, and it's been live over the years, and anything can happen. Can we take a look at Dave Garroway in action, taking a report from a reporter, I believe?
Temby of WWJ in Detroit, where the steel strike means so much being settled. Let's talk to him for a moment, see how he feels. Mr. Temby?
Hello, sir.
Hello, dear.
Yes, this is collectors from Mr. Timby.
We'll pay the charges. Hello, Britton? It's Britton Temby of WWJ in Detroit. Pittsburgh is making a call into us right now. We'll see if we can get it on here. Operator. Yoo-hoo. Hello, will you give us the Pittsburgh call now? I beg your pardon?
You canceled the call, did you not?
No, dear, we didn't cancel it. We're anxious to get it. We're on the air looking for it. No, it's Dave Garroway.
Well, Mr. Garroway, Mr. Dawson placed the call while this call was up. The other one came in to let, and they said, never mind, cancel it. In the meantime, the girl is passing the call. Dawson canceled that one, too.
Well?
Do you want to get it right away again?
Yes, if you can get it right away again.
We'll do our best. And you're through with the other one?
Yes, right through.
Okay, thank you. I'll ring you right back.
Looking at these girls, the ones you just saw, who were 20 years or more ago on this show, I must say I had a pretty good eye.
And we'll be back after these messages, but first a birthday song from Jewel Stein.
Happy birthday today. Happy birthday today. Happy birthday today show. What more can I say? Another 100 years.